So now, should we get into some other news?
Yeah, I think I believe it's time for the BFL weekly update.
Yes. All right, Jody.
You got it.
What
Even
happened
on the floor of iCast? You got it.
Yes. What happened in the BFL land this past weekend?
All right, so we're going to start off with the Bama division. Neely Henry, Bradley Jones caught 18 pounds, had a great tournament, picked up the win, and I'm going to let him talk about his pattern right now.
So, just one more tell you about when I guess. Started out that morning catching some small fish. No keepers. About 2 hours into the morning, I caught a 4.5. About 5 minutes later, caught a 2-pounder. Then lost a big one. About 30 minutes after that, caught another 4.5. And all these fish, throwing a Strike King 5XD crankbait.
Okay.
Citrus shad color. And then about 1 o'clock, I finally called another 4.5 pounder. I don't think I caught like 7 keeping fish that day. There was one spot. It was a rock pile in the river. Came up about 10 or 12 foot deep on top of it. It was good. I really never expected it. With the size fish, I fished Neely a pretty good bit. And with the size of the bites that I had that day, I really thought it would take I figured that I had a top 3, but I didn't figure that would win, especially losing another big fish.
So, Bradley, he had this one key spot, the rock and the current out in the main river, and for him, timing was really key. He caught all but one of his big fish in a very short window when they were pulling current. He was on it at the right time, made it happen.
Cool. Congratulations, Bradley Jones.
All righty. Moving on.
The next one sounds kind of interesting to me. I read the release, and it sounds like the winner had to overcome quite a bit of adversity for this one, but get into it, Jody.
Yes, he did. And we're going to let him talk about that in a second here.
Okay.
Moving on, Northeast Division, Onida Lake, Ken Golub. He caught 20 pounds, 11 ounces.
Former FLW Tour pro, Ken Golub.
Yes, he says he's fishing the tour again next year.
Hey, that's great to hear.
Exactly. Awesome guy. Anyhow, he caught 20 pounds, 11 ounces, which is a huge bag on Oneida.
Definitely.
I mean, 19 pounds is a big bag on Oneida. For him to almost catch 22 there really is, it's not unheard of, but it's very surprising, and it's a very good bag. And I'm going to let him talk right now about how his day went.
Had a deep rock spot that I found like maybe about 15 years ago. First of all, started for whatever reason, everything except for my big motor, the electronics, fried out. I kind of started my morning by digging under the dash and digging in the back of the boat, trying to get the wiring figured out. But something somewhere along the line, whether it was one of the main lines must have frayed, or the circuit, one of the main, the brain, what they call the A10 in that bass cat, must have fried out. So I had anything in the boat. Once I took off, this first place I went to start the live well, nothing started, so all that. So we were doing this with no electronics all morning. So started on a deeper spot that is kind of real hard to find, but I found it like 15 years ago before I really used GPS, and just kind of lined it up, the old-fashioned way, and visual stuff on shore, and got my three biggest fish off of that one spot, lickety split. Actually, it was deeper rock. I normally get smallmouth there, but those were all largemouth. I got them kind of on I'll get you the exact name. I'll email it back to you if I can figure it out. But it's like a blade bait.
Okay.
That resembles a one of the bait fish in the lake. And then the rest of the fish, I kind of got junk fishing. Just running around shallow in the eastern half of the lake. I came in real early because I had no live wells and kept the fish alive all day by, fortunately my co-angler and I were taking turns bailing, with like a 2-gallon blue pail, fresh water into the live wells pretty much nonstop because I had those fish pretty early. So we, literally would go into the colder water and then just, basically made our own human live well, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I went in real early. I know 20 pounds is a real big bag there. I had a 5'11", which is a better than average size lunker for that lake too, and I had one that was about 5'7". So, I kind of, even though I thought I had a decent shot, I was primarily concerned with keeping those fish alive. So that's why I went in early.
So anyhow, he obviously had a really good day, but a potentially really trying day too.
No doubt. Sounds a little frustrating.
Yeah, I can only imagine having to go through that ordeal to start my tournament and what that would be like. It would be horrible. It would throw me off my game, but he stayed on his game and crushed him. So I love that. And one other thing that was interesting, and he talked about it in the interview there, and he said that he was going to, send me a link for it because he wasn't exactly sure of the name. Mm-hmm. He was throwing a MOP Lures, which stands for Mother of Pearl.
Mother of Pearl. Sweet Mother of Pearl.
Sure. He was throwing an MOP Lures Blade Runner. It's basically a little blade bait. It's made out of, or it incorporates Mother of Pearl in it, which I guess gives it a perfect little sheen in the water.
Is that like a color or something? What is Mother of Pearl?
It's pearl basically.
Okay.
Like the inside of a clamshell type deal.
Sure.
So it's got that sort of sheen to it, but it's a particular sheen. It's a neat looking little bait and really kind of new school and old school mixed up, which I thought was pretty interesting.
All right. Well, congratulations, Ken Golub. Smashed him on Onida Lake.
Yeah, that's his actually second BFL win on Onida as well.
Cool.
So you know that now. All righty. Next up, Potomac River, the Shenandoah division. Matthew Caffey caught 17 pounds, 14 ounces, won his second BFL event of the year on the Potomac River.
That's impressive.
I know, right? I mean, it's impressive to win one BFL event a year. To win two in different divisions, but 2 events on the Potomac in 1 year is really pretty cool. And I'm going to go ahead and let him talk about his day right now.
What we're doing is we target like this one area. It was in it's in the northern part of the river, kind of near it's near Monkey. We were fishing like back creeks and there and targeting like laydowns and everything, and pretty much like we just waited till the tide flipped around. I hit a couple early spots and didn't have too many in the morning, and it was kind of slow. And then there's like a probably 30-minute to like an hour window where I pretty much caught all my fish, and it was pretty much off laydowns on a baby brush hog. Me and my partner, his name's like Tank Mosley. Me and him were fishing together. He actually finished 7th in there, and me and him, he actually guides out on the river. Me and him actually found those fish like probably a week or 2 before the tournament. I found them, and me and him found them in the end of the Rayovac, and they did good for him. He got a 7th-place finish, and we were on some good fish together.
The thing to me that was most interesting about his day was that he was doing something which you don't hear about too often on the Potomac. A lot of times, you're familiar with guys fishing the grass beds, finding an area in the grass beds where they can go catch their fish. They're turning the lights out on us at ICAST now. But anyhow, he was able to find not just an area in the grass. He was actually finding a place where nobody else was. He was up in a little backwater. He said he had to beat up his skeg to go get it, and he found fish in there.
All right, congratulations to Matthew Caffey.
All right, we got 2 more to get through here before they kick us out.
Yes, we better speed it up a little bit.
All right, so the Michigan Division, Detroit River, Arthur Teeper caught 22 pounds. We go out on the Detroit River. He made about a 40-mile run into St. Clair to pick up the W, catching smallmouth. Obviously, 22 pounds is a big deal. And Skip Johnson, our boy, finished 25th.
Kentucky Lake FLW Tour champion Skip Johnson finished 25th.
Yes.
All right. One more event to go, correct?
Yeah. South Carolina Division, Lake Murray. Ross Burns caught 14-15, picked up the win. Here he is right now.
I threw a topwater all day. I had 3 rods on the deck, and 2 of those were topwater, and the other one was fluke. And that's literally all I did, fish points all day, starting from 60, 70 feet of water and fish to the shore. In practice, I check every point that I know of, because in the summer they start getting in the cane piles, but for some reason they're not there yet. So I checked them all, and I only found 2 points where they were schooling off them, and it was random. It wasn't like they're coming up in one certain place, so you just had to chase them, and that's why I'd start so far out, and then when I'd see them come up, I'd just go over there to them and throw at them and catch 1 or 2, and then wait 10 minutes until they came up again. I actually caught probably about 30, and I lost about 15. I didn't think I was going to win, but especially with 2 penalties, I didn't think I was going to win. But I barely made it. I'm happy it happened.
So the thing that was interesting to me was that I got to learn a few things about Murray that I maybe wouldn't have otherwise known.
Yeah, that was going to be one of the highlights of this tournament. Was it's kind of a mini preview for the Cup.
Preview.
Yeah.
I guess one interesting thing, it was 1 deep. It wasn't 1 shallow. It wasn't 1 up the river. There are potential. There's potential to see somebody win deep in the Cup, which, the last time we were there, it was not 1 deep. It was 1 shallow. It was 1 up the river. It was 1 around docks. So we learned that. Whether that holds for the Cup, I don't know, but it's something interesting to note.
Okay.
All right, so congratulations to Ross Burns on his win. And with that, we're done with the BFL Weekly Update. We're moving on.
And that has been the BFL Weekly Update. For more like this, check out the rest of the FLW podcast at flwoutdoors.com or on iTunes.